I'm here with Will Drayton of BV. You're the Director of Sustainability and Technical Viticulture, amongst your many titles here. And we're in BV2, kind of. We're actually in the Napa River. What are we doing in the Napa River standing on a pile of gravel that you said was not here a couple days ago?
Yeah, so the river's just gone down. This whole area is a restoration that we've done as one of many restorations with the county and with neighbors up and down Napa River, Rutherford section here specifically. And we're trying to bring back the river to something like what it used to be. As you look around here, we've got a bunch of willow sticks pounded in. Some of them even have green leaves coming out. We have baffles put in the river here to slow down the flow. And I'm actually standing on a bank of gravel here that wasn't here a week or so ago, that in the last big flush of rain brought all this rock down from the hills and captured it here. That's great because this is all salmon spawning habitat and trout spawning habitat. So we are both expanding the fish that are back in the river that were always here natively, helping out our fishermen friends in the bay. But also we're bringing back the river and capturing a lot more of the water that's here that would have otherwise shot down into the San Pablo Bay like a hosepipe.
Yeah, so you had one of those big atmospheric rivers that we've started to hear about in the news. And what's happening is you're getting a lot of rain in concentrated periods of time as opposed to in the past where you get periods of rain more gently. This riverbank was not this shape before you started this renovation. So what have you done to shape the river and why exactly are you doing that?
Yeah, we would be standing right now in a kind of vertical tunnel. And so when the river rushes through, the banks would cave in and it would move incredibly quickly. We've laid those back, taken out a bunch of dirt, to be honest, and then laid back the banks at an angle so that the river slows down. As it fills up, it gets slower and slower and drops this gravel. It also means we don't lose our precious Rutherford dust down into the bay. So makes for a much more resistant landscape, as well as one that captures water better. And obviously we need water in the summertime. With California, we're seeing more and more intense storms and then more gaps in between with drought. So it's critical that we capture as much of that water as possible. It's also critical that the water is sunk into the ground so that in those dry periods in between, we can continue to farm like we want to farm.
So you're slowing down the water, so it's a gentler. You're still going to flood here.
It's still going to flood.
Right, but you're getting the river to work with your vineyard that's right next door, essentially.
Yeah, so essentially a gentle flood in all areas at the same time versus a catastrophic flood that punches through and drops trunks of trees and wipes out vines and disrupts the whole play through here. So instead, gentle flood that allows the water to percolate back in and get back to what it used to be.
And then also you're dealing with invasive species of fauna along the banks here. And you're allowed to, I should say that you're working with the county on this. You're not coming in here and disrupting the ecosystem. This is all approved work. So what is the battle with the invasive species here that you have to deal with?
Well, if you go up and down any river system through California where you've got grapevines up alongside, you'll Google Earth it, you'll see dead patches of vines all the way up and down. That's a disease called Pierce's disease. And a lot of that is hosted in invasive species that are up and down riverbanks that get established, and then they have this tiny little bacteria in them that's sort of like a malaria but for grapevines. And once it gets transferred out, that grapevine's dead within a few years. So by managing all of this together, we remove the invasive species, remove that pool of dangerous bacteria that would be moving into our grapes, and we actually improve the health of the vines all the way up and down the river. So there's amazing nodes of improvement all the way up and down the Napa River where this work has been done and landowners are collaborating to keep it healthy. And then the grapevines are benefiting all the way up and down by not having this threat of this disease that can jump out at any point.
And you started this renovation over the last couple of years as you did a replant here in the BB10 vineyard. What have you seen in the 2, 3, 4 years that you've done this?
Yeah, I mean, so this is the latest of the projects that we've done. We've actually been doing these for about a decade now. And so we learn a little bit every single time. But what we see is that the vine health alongside gets better. And then we'll have to come back in the spring because you'll see up and down here, there'll be blankets of native wildflowers showing, as well as trees of coyote bush and live oaks and all sorts of species that we've put back through here, which increase the bird life in the vineyard, so it gets noisier. We get a bunch of bluebirds and things in the spring. They start predating on the insects and things in the vineyards instead. So you just see blossoming of life right on the edge of the vineyard, which really makes the vineyard an integrated part of the landscape again, which is what we really all want.
Will Drayton of BV here in BV10 talking about the renovation of the Napa River and the benefits on the vineyard. Thanks.
You're welcome.